Hello dear students, in this video we are going to study a poem that is included in your syllabus of MA Final English Literature. The poem name is Lapis Lazuli and it is composed by W.B. Yeats. On your screen you can see an image. This is an image of lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is a semi-precious stone of a light blue color used in ornamental and mosaic work. Why this poem is named lapis lazuli? The answer is that Yeats had received a lapis lazuli medal with a carving on it from a man called Harry Clifton. So, lapis lazuli was written in the 30s of the 20th century, and that time was a great decade of political art. Lapis lazuli is a poem in which art offers an experience to be taken for its own sake only, that out of tragedy comes tragic joy. The theme of the poem may be described as the conflict between art and those people of the world, like historical women, for instance, that is used in the poem. And lapis lazuli involves a whole series of themes that had by this time become for Yeats standard subjects: the recurring rise and fall of civilization, the nearness of our own civilization to its end, and the triumph of art and philosophy over the tragedy of mere events. This poem consists of 5 stanzas which are apparently unrelated to each other, but which do follow a certain pattern of development. When we will study the poem, we will come to know that this poem is noteworthy because the tone of this poem shifts from the slangy, offhand, deliberately modern manner of the first stanza. Means, in the first stanza, the tone of the poem is slangy, offhand, and deliberately modern manner. But the last stanza involves a tone of elevated and formal dignity. Nothing in Yeats' poetry better illustrates his great control of language than this poem. He called it almost the best I have made of in recent years, and he was right. So this poem has a shift of tone from the first stanza to the last stanza, and this poem emphasizes the imaginative nature of art. Now we will study the summary of this poem. Lapis lazuli is a deep blue mineral. Here it refers to the medallion, means the old type of medal of this china ware presented to the poet. Means this poem is basically related or based on a medal that is of china ware, and that medal has a deep blue colored stone that is called lapis lazuli. The poet has listened to the cries of historical women of the 1930s. Means when the poet sees that medal, he listens the cries of historical women who are panicky and scared of the preparations for the Second World War. In this poem, the poet presents a tragical note of war destruction in 1930. They are sick of the painter's palette. They here refers to the historical women who are very in a pathetic condition due to the world war destruction, and the musical instrument of the singer and the poet's compositions, because all of them are happy and gay. Here the poet imagines that the women who had got hysterical, they are in a very depressive mode and they are sick of painter's palette, means the it is also an example of art. Musical instrument of the singer, it is also an example of art. And the poet's compositions means the poet's creative works. So there is considered three types of art, and the historical women cries over them. The women express their anxiety and suspense and want everybody to know that unless something drastic is done, airplanes and bombs will level flat the town, just as King Billy, that who was king of Orange, hurled bombs in the Battle of Poitiers. Everything will be reduced to dust. So here is a very pathetic image of war destruction. And in the first stanza, when we read the poem, the first stanza reminds us of the Battle of Boyne. The arts have a fruitful role to play in a world overwhelmed by war hysteria. Look at the tragic characters in a play. When we will read the poem, we will come to know that here in the poem, the poet talks about some of the tragic characters in the best play of the English literature. And now, in this summary, you can note these examples, like there walks Hamlet on the stage, and there is Lear. There is Ophelia and there is Cordelia. They do not break down in tears or collapse even when the last scene is being enacted and the curtain is about to drop. So, here the poet gives the example of some of the outstanding characters of English literature. They play their roles efficiently. They do not interrupt their words with weeping. They know that Hamlet and Lear and Happy, their joy in acting transforms their fear and tragedy. They know that human life is basically tragic. So that is the reason the poet gives example of these characters. The poet want to convey the message that we should know, we human beings should know that human life is basically tragic. So we should not uh, we should not replace our joy with the tragic events in our life. Their acceptance of fate leads to their inner illumination, and tragedy enlarges their understanding of life. Though Hamlet raves, means grumble, though Hamlet grumbles and Lear falls into fits, and even if all that drops seems to occur at once on 1,000 stages, worldwide destruction of human lot or human destiny cannot be worse or more tragic than what it really is. Pilling of horror on horror means medicating horror by horror cannot add further to the tragedy of life. Civilizations have come and gone. Why should we feel sorry if our civilization is destroyed? Here in this poem, the poet mourns over the destruction of civilization that we had to undergo if any world war happens. Conquerors came with armies, some on foot, some on ship, camelback, horseback, assback, and muleback. They destroyed the old civilization and their wisdom to come to an end. Callimachus, who was the Athenian sculptor, created wonderful things of marble as if it were bronze, yet none of his sculpture exists today. So here, by giving example of Callimachus, the poet wants to convey that if world war happen, if any war destruction happen, all the mediums of art are devastated. He, with his running drill, made dress of human beings in marble as if they would move with a gust of wind. He made the bronze lamp in the form of a stern and of slender palm leaf. Nothing of this exists today. All things are destroyed and are built up again. So all those who build again can be happy again. So here the poet gives a message that although devastation happens, but new creations again occurs. The poet gives an account of the carved chinaware which supplies the title to the poem. Before me lies this Chinese gift of semi precious blue stone called lapis lazuli. Here are three human beings, two Chinamen, including an ascetic, means a saint, and his disciple, and the third one who follows them carries a musical instrument and is their servant. So, on the medal there are carved three human beings, two Chinamen, and one of their servant having musical instrument. Above the three flies a long-legged bird, whose presence indicates that these three men will have a long life. On this chinaware, every discoloration of the stone or crack in the stone indicate a watercourse or an avalanche or some lofty slope covered with snow. The plum and cherry branches are found near the halfway house towards with those Chinamen climb. So here is a description of the carving on medal. The poet feels happy with the thought that the Chinamen are seated in that house. From the mountain, they view the tragic scene all around. One of them desires that some mournful song be sung, and the expert artist begins to play on the instrument. The eyes of the two Chinese listeners shine brightly in their face full of wrinkles. Here, the poet imagines their activities. They appear to be quite happy in spite of the tragic scene around. So here we can conclude that on the medal there are some images and some emotions the poet gives to those images. Poet and artist can view with balance and equanimity, means sameness or balance, the word tragedy as well as rise and fall of civilization. The poet wants to say that only the artistic people can understand the meaning of life which is full of rise and fall. This poem represents the almost constant pressure on human society to renew and regenerate that what has been lost. With the new generation coming into its own as the turn of the century passes, we as artists have a responsibility to the following generation to provide what will be needed in the future. In conclusion, the poem should be read aloud in a voice as emotional and resounding as possible so that the full effect of the words and alliteration can be felt through the body, mind, and even soul if it is read just right. What will follow is a mystical experience. Here, the poet conveys that if we read this poem with full flesh feelings of body, mind, and soul, this will give us a mystical experience that cannot be described but is ineffable. Wondering what it means to understand a poem to this degree is like experiencing racism to the ninth degree with a stadium of people watching. So that's all about the summary and the introduction of this poem. And in the forthcoming videos, I will explain the poem line by line and I will tell you all the critical comments, all the analytic statements of this poem. So, thank you all.